Hello, Jordan. How's it going?
It's going well, Annie. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Looking forward to chatting about SS23 with you today, though. So I'm here with Jordan, who's going to share a little bit about SS23 for Bossa coming up. So why don't you start with a little summary of what your new collection is all about and what is different about it this year?
Definitely. The spring-summer collection of 2023 has three different categories that we're focusing on right now. It's going to be 90s nostalgia, which is one of my favorite. Obviously, growing up in the 90s was, very iconic for me, all the different little eras of denim and how it got involved, from rollerblading to playing with your Game Boy to just going to school and all the different little things that
Love
you and your
it.
friends had.
Love it.
Big inspiration for us in the 90s. And also future healing, which is definitely an extension from where Bossa has been doing a great job with sustainability and adding interesting new futuristic fibers into their fabrics. And so we're just branching off of that into a new way of blending some of these together. And then we also have our nomad tourist, where we're kind of branching off of the no traveling for a year and what are we going to be doing afterwards. Everyone's going to be traveling more and really looking at getting out in the world, but maybe doing it a little bit different, where they're trying to get into more of nature instead of cities themselves, or when they're in cities, discovering the nature that's around the cities. And of course, they still have their other collections that are the subcategories in here, carrying over from the last season, which is the all-in-one category, kind of a gender-neutral way of dressing, fabrics that work both for men and women, very versatile, very efficient. And their Hempy collection, which includes a lot of hemp, which you'll see also in our Future Healing collection, and Future Denim, which is part of Future Healing, where they're combining sustainable fibers and dyeing techniques, as well as their Eco 3 concept, working with Strom on utilizing bare minimum washing techniques to be able to get really good scores in the green territory for EIM scores.
Amazing. Yeah. And going back to those three sub concepts, I love that you kind of mentioned doing this genderless, all in one, efficient and versatile fabric ready to go and design. Would you say that these fabrics also work across a range of different styles and like work with different, so you're able to really just use that one fabric and like creating eventually less waste ultimately that way?
Yes, coming from selling wholesale with my brand, we're at the liberty of what buyers can constantly want, which is constant change. And that becomes difficult if you're having to constantly change your fabrics. It's not very efficient, it's not very sustainable. So one of the things that really brought me to Bossa in the beginning was this really beautiful, very heritage look when it comes to their denims. They had a lot of rigid qualities that I felt had a lot of versatility, can work for men, it can work for women. And as I started utilizing more of these materials, I realized the versatility of being a jacket or a pant or a short, men's, women's, that you can spread your collection very far, very deep. And you apply some very unique fibers to that, some nice Indigo dyes that they have. Then you have a beautiful quality that is not just sustainable, but versatile, a decent price point. You don't worry with things like a lot of the mills are still focused on super stretchy stuff, which is still relevant, but they haven't really been able to figure out how to get back on that real heritage, rigid fabric look, where this is what the heart of this collection really has. It has these beautiful, rigid qualities and even comfort stretch qualities that do not have crazy amount of shrinkages. They're beautiful fabrics that are very efficient and can last in what you can call seasonless. Each season you can be utilizing them. You don't have to worry about getting rid of your inventory. You don't have to worry about changing them every year. You can make new styles, keep the buyers happy, keep the consumers happy.
Right. Yeah. Definitely love the efficient, versatile aspect of this that fights kind of the elephant in the room of people over consuming newness all the time. And then you also mentioned just like that authentic look that we all really crave, but you've been working on at Bossa to really offer this to your clientele and your customers. So with the new sustainable fibers that you're implementing, what are those fibers? What kind of percentage of contents are they in these new fabrics? And yeah, how do they work with the new washing techniques, your Eco 3 washing technique as well?
Definitely. One of the things that with each individual fiber has its own sort of feel and look when it comes to washing. Some of the newer fibers that we're using are fibers such as Smartcell, which has unique cellulosic properties that are actually good for your skin. So once again, it kind of comes to the future healing, trying to figure out ways to use fibers that have less impact on the earth, but also maybe also beneficial to yourself. Obviously, beneficial for the earth is beneficial for yourself, but simultaneously, if they can do this both at the same time. Once again, we're carrying over Ciclo, which is going to be a recycled performance fiber that they'll be using in their materials for the stretch fibers. And then they also have obviously Repreve, big category, a big selection of this, and one of my favorite fibers coming from Lenzing, utilizing waste scraps and turning it into a tencel sort of version with the Repreve technology. And also hemp, of course, still a big category for hemp. I'm a big fan of using hemp kind of like linen. I like it for the dry hand feel. I'm not trying to get hemp to replace cotton, even though the unique property of jeans is that they all used to be hemp in the beginning, before obviously all those big cotton people and paper people started pushing hemp away. But it's fun when you blend hemp in the right way. Not that 5% sort of stuff, but like heavier blends. So something you're going to start seeing too is hemp blended with cellulose fibers like tencel. This is a beautiful harmony because you have silky, drapey with dry, sort of hand feels that's lighter with the hemp. And this is a great harmony, great blend.
Amazing. Yeah, like almost like the zero cotton concept that people were striving for, and when cotton was kind of framed as the bad guy. And yeah, so these sustainable.
I love cotton though. It's not all bad.
Exactly.
There's good ways of growing. It's just one of the biggest things is recycling. People don't recycle enough of the cotton that they are using. This is why I said I love Repreve so much, because they're utilizing it. But also, Bossa is one of the strongest when it comes to recycling cotton back into their fabrics. I've never seen anybody with the supply chain that they have. This is ultimately how I was able to get, some of their fabrics have 43% recycled cotton. And when you look at it, you'd never guess that. Well, that's the unique way that they have to spin their yarns and blending them. I spent a lot of time there with them, eating a doner kebab and chatting with all their weaving engineers and their spinning engineers. And these people are amazing. We have some great technical talk, and they really know their stuff.
A great team to work on and research and develop these new creative waves of spinning fibers. So on top of that, so you're using sustainable fibers, trying to increase the content of these sustainable fibers like hemp, for example. Then your dyeing technique. So this future denim concept of yours says it's combining, the eco-friendly fibers with a new dyeing process that's also eco-friendly. Could you tell us a bit more about the dyeing process here?
Yeah, so utilizing some of the bio-based dyes versus, just traditional oil-derived dyes have a really good effect when you're using ozones and more of the eco-friendly chemicals, or what we call green chemistry. And so in this process, you're not just designing the wash saying, hey, please take this, sulfur top, sulfur bottom fabric, put it in the ozone, but I want it to be bright blue. It just doesn't work like that. So you really have to know, for lack of better words, you got to know your shit. So you got to design your dye, you got to design your yarn, you got to design it all for how you want it to come out. That's a really important thing here. It comes back down to smart design, efficient design. If you don't have that, then you're not going to end up with a product here. And this is what Bossa is really trying to help with, is by creating some of these beautiful dyes. They're indigo Farah dyes, they're safe Farah dyes. This process not only just uses less water, but it helps you use less water in the laundry by implementing, dyes that work better with the laser, with the ozone, with the e-flow, with all this machinery. And at the end of the day, you get this product that even looks better than the traditional, over-processed fabrics of the earlier days.
Would you almost call it reverse engineering in a sense?
Sort of, or starting from the beginning, the way that it's supposed to be. But
we've moved so far away from.
Which is why we can use this word that, as you said, reverse engineering, because we've gotten so far away from the beginning. And this is the thing. I've been seeing a lot of people, take more of a personal relationship with their farmers, which is amazing. These are the things that we need to be doing. There's a lot of not just workers, but people in the supply chain. People like your friends, your family, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. And it's really important that we don't just do this because we think it's going to sell better or we can charge more. Do it because it's the right thing to do. And maybe right now it may feel more expensive, or may be more difficult, but everything starts that way. And the more that we do it, the more that we band together, it becomes the new standard.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I think we should have that in a block quote right now there. But I think, I couldn't have summed it up better myself. I think, are there any last words you want to put out about Bossa, any future developments that we haven't touched on today that you're excited about?
You gotta come check out the collection to really better understand what I'm talking about. And as I say to everybody, if you ever have any technical questions, ask away. That's the best thing about Bossa, is that they have so many technical people that may not be necessarily on the forefront that you're communicating with, but they love getting involved in the business. They love answering questions. They're there to help, and that's what I like to see from Bossa, is how involved they get with their supply chain, with everyone that works in their factory. It's a family, and it's the tall tale of time that teamwork is dreamwork. And that is something you really see here as these collections are building together, especially me being new in the team, working with everybody. They still treat me just like family. Well,
thank you so much for chatting with me about the new collection. It was awesome to hear more about future denim and what that looks like for Bossa. And we'll hopefully see each other at the next show in person.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye.